AMC had a very nice movement Monday. Sorry, Friday. What am I talking about? Fuck, I'm still like maybe sleeping right now. Anyway, so yeah, yesterday this thing shot up to 10%, right? Almost 11%. I was actually post this one a few days ago that I was hoping to see AMC hit $3, right? So this was my post on May 12th, 5 days ago, apparently. No, it was actually no, yeah, it was 5 days ago, and then confirmation I need for this week was $3 by Tuesday, Wednesday. But at the time, the algo was still slow, so it wasn't really hitting that $3 marks. But there was a pullback on Thursday or something, right? And Friday it shot up, right? So basically, what let me kind of go back to this and then kind of walk you guys through what actually happened. So this was my post on May 9th. Okay, so it was last week, right? So what I saw last week was, so you see how I mentioned about there's a big candle up there, right? There's some weird candle just shut up, and then that's what I noticed. Okay, something is happening here. And then I did take a look at, I already went through a whole RSIs, and I already kind of shows you we are now entering 2021 January cycle for AMC. And it's not only AMC, it's just a whole, I think, basket stock is gonna blow up, right? And then after that, I wanted to see this thing start to moving up, right? So it was actually showing a very similar signs to this one, right? It was showing making higher low, it was barcoding every single day, right? Just like they're just barcoding, but the fact that it was moving up, that was a good confirmation. But the next one was, as you can see, there's a gap I pointed out. There was a $2.90, close to $3 mark, right? So I wanted to see if this will fill that gap this week, right? And it did, but it was slightly different than how I expected. So let me show you why. So this is 2021 fractal on the right side. This is what this is a current fractal, and compared to this, as you bring the fractals in here, and then based on this giant candles up there, and as you can also see here as well, this thing start to moving up, and I was expecting this type of movement, but instead they just move up a little bit before they hit $2.90 mark, and they had a pullback. And that happened on Thursday, I think, on Wednesday or something like that. And then after that, what I noticed on Thursday, I think, was the algo sped up so much. And I think somebody on Twitter X mentioned that, I think it was a Timmy Crypto or something. Some guy who was looking at AMC, and they have their own TA stuff. And some guy mentioned about the volume kicks in quite a lot. So. And then he was pointing out, are we actually going towards more like late 2020 January? And I said no, because the fact that the speed is extremely slow. Although there's a volume there, we have to consider that this thing is very slower, like way slower. Like the liquidity, there's not much liquidity compared to 2021. So we have to also factor that in. And then also you have to look at GME. GME hasn't run yet. And then we can just based off the what volume kicks in on a day. I think we should expect more volume coming this week, and also I think early June. And somebody also pointed out that there's a June 5th or something. There was a bullet swap expiration, so that's another one, right? So anyway. So I was expecting that, but instead what they did was, I'm gonna pull this one out today. I'm gonna pull this one now. So last time I did mention that when they create this fractals here, okay. So let me actually bring this one up. Okay, so it's quite messy, but yeah, I'll walk you guys through. So I'm gonna actually take out the fractals here, so you guys don't really see other stuff. So the candle looks crazy messy, right? It's impossible to really understand what the fuck they're making, right? This is all market makers, shit, but you just have to be extremely sensitive to, I think, to point out where are we exactly, right? And what I notice, not only when you look at the candle, it looks like shit, right? But when you look at RSI, RSI is the one gives you a good, some sort of a place to start. Okay, so the candle looks like shit, but RSI is moving up like this very nicely, right? And then you see there's a 1, 2, 3. It moves up like 3 times like that, right? Like a wave, and there's a pullback, right? I noticed that. So this pullback was actually this one. And then last stream I was like, it's either we're gonna see like there's a one in the middle like that. Either we're gonna see this or we're gonna go like straight up like that. And it seems like we actually straight up went up, like jump onto this one like that, because the algo sped up for a reason. I don't know why, but algo sped up in this phase. So the AMC is hard to track because of the speed of algo. They just sometimes move so slowly, and there's sometimes like just move so fast, right? So what I mean by that is, let me show you here. Okay, so look at this one. So look at this is 2021 Jan. Look at how, okay, don't look at the candle, look at RSI. All right, I'm gonna move this one here. So you see how this thing move up 1, 2, 3 like that. This one also move 1, 2, 3 like that, right? And there was a pullback, right? There was a pullback. So this pullback actually, there was a bit of a time delay, right? There's like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? So Wednesday, it took 3 days to kind of like stay around this area, right? But this one, it just rolled back up right away, which means that the algo sped up here, I think. You know what I mean? This area, it was way faster. So you see how, okay, so in terms of time, from here to the bottom to create this whole 3 waves onto the B phase, it took about roughly 6 days, 6 days and 20 hours. So let's call it like, let's just say 6 days. From here to the bottom, creating 3 waves, it took about 11 days. So roughly right now the time is 5 days slower, right? From A to B here, right? This is from 2021 January 6th to 2021 January 12th, right? So it's 6-day delay, right? About 5 to 6 day delay from this one. But from B to C, this level, let's call this one as a C, right? In 2021 January, from B to C phase, I'm just gonna break it down into each part, right? So that you guys can understand. So from here to here, there was a pullback, and this pullback wasn't that much, but anyway. So this pullback stay only. So this one, there was a pullback here from actually on Tuesday, but it wasn't that much dip, right? It was like sharper dip this time, but it wasn't that much dip. But I think there was a volatility involved here too. But anyway, so from here roughly Monday to Thursday. So it actually is quite similar, 3 days, right? 3 days. But when you look at RSI, it actually is quite fast. Yeah, from here, probably Tuesday to Thursday, so maybe like 2 days. So it was a lot faster. So that's why it's just like go down and boom, shoot up, right? But this go down and go up 3 days and boom, shut up, right? Like that, right? And you see how this candle, there's a gap up there, right? This is Tuesday, by the way, right? So January 19th, there was a gap up. You see now, this is when you look at the fractals, I think we are here, right? And you see there's a gap there. There's a gap I told you about. There's a gap at $2.90, right? There's a gap. That gap is filled, right? So this gap is filled, $2.90, and next gap is at this level at $3-4, right? So the setup is perfectly there. You know what's funny? When I bring the fractals here, it touches perfectly. So it's going to make a staircases. AMC is still beginning of the I mean, this is start to breaking out of until going into the staircases, the first staircases, and there's going to be a second staircases, and after that this thing shoot up. So that's the AMC 2021 January style squeeze, right? So so and that's kind of what I noticed. So tomorrow is Sunday, and I think in order to create the same fractals, and I think there's a reason why they sped up the algo. I think Roaring Kitty might tweet, okay, or something's gonna happen. Like usually Roaring Kitty tweet, usually there's about what, like 5 to 8% pop, right? You know, it's possible, right? So let's say if you add a 5 to 8%, yeah, that's good gap. Get to good gap up there, and then this thing just continue to push to fill this gap at $4, right, for next week, and then have a pullback, and by end of May, or possibly either May 29 or May 30s, right, pushes up. I think there's a bit of a pressure. I think some people talks about May 30 or something like that. I forgot what May 30 meant, but there's some pressure there. And then by the time when you get to the May June 4th or something, maybe that's GameStop earning shot up, maybe have some pullback, and then gamma squeeze up here. So I think around this time, this gamma squeeze could trigger by BBBY, I think, because I know there are people who don't track the BBBY, but BBBY I think is about to come back, and I think since BBY was also same basket, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see the return of BBY will break the basket, because that's what you saw from Roaring Kitty video. There was a match with a baby, so I think it could be the trigger, right? So if BBY comes back from bankruptcy, and I don't know, maybe the equity returns around that time, maybe squeeze together, that's just kind of what I see. Maybe I might be wrong, but when based on stuff that I'm tracking with BBBY dockets, and then filings, and the fraud, whatever the fraud is going on with the BBBY, the settlement is about to actually finalize, right? So it's just confidential yet, but they actually settle. One of the biggest large shipping company, MSC shipping company, actually settled with BBBY. I think the initial claim was about 300 something million, and then you have to add about 10 times because it's a fraud, and then if it is a RICO case, you have to add another 3, so it could be billion or something, who knows. And that's already enough to pay off the creditors, and then creditors is no longer showing up on the I think Pacer or something. Was it Pacer or some sort of a New York court docket or something? I don't know. So all the major creditors, about 20 major creditors were up there, but it's now gone. So which means that the class 6 is now paid. The next class is going to be class 9. So who knows? Maybe they're just waiting for the right time to announce something and then just blow the shit up, So that's kind of how I see it, right, for AMC. So I think it's going to be very important for me to see what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to play out tomorrow, right? Not tomorrow, sorry, next week. And when so the RSI is good. Let's check MACD here. So even MACD, this is 2 hour on the right side, 2021 Jan, and this is let's compare to more like 2 hours, because since the current algo is a bit of a way more slower than 2020. So let's do maybe 6 hours, or maybe 4 hours, or even 8 hours, maybe 12 hours. You know what? Let's do 4 hours. So now, as you can see, I already drew some stuff here already. So now This thing is already passed, so I'm not gonna talk about this one again. I'm gonna just. So now we are here. So like I said, the RSI does 1 2 3. It goes 1 2 3, right? Like a wave. 1 2 3 wave, pull back. There was a pullback here, as you can see, the red, and then this thing just shot up there, which means that the algo kicked in, right? I think MACD was also easy to look at, right? So there was a pullback after this 1 2 3 wave, pullback, and then shut up, right? And then that's the thing. AMC, the beauty of AMC is it's just sometimes just algo kicks in so fast. I'm like, whoa, shit, yeah, she's about to blow up. But yeah, as you can see, it shot up and there was a 5%, so 10% up, 5% down. This matches perfectly with this fractals here, right? You see this thing shot up and then pull back, right? Same thing happened with this one. Also with 6 hours, I think you see there's a long signal up here. It's a little messy, but this is let me just kind of tone this one down a little bit. All right, so you see there's a long signal up here. Fuck. Okay, you see the same spot. There's a long signal up here. It's crazy, right? Which means that you see this green candle up there and now start to fade out. Same thing happened here. The green candle pops, one light candle just slight pullback there, right? And then what happened? Boom, shut up, right? So which I think tomorrow, why I keep saying tomorrow? Oh yeah, Monday or even Sunday, yeah, maybe Roaring Kitty tweets gap up. So that's why I said Roaring Kitty will come back, because something has to happen to create a gap up. And who else can do that, right? I mean, this thing can just move without Roaring Kitty tweet, right? But I think, yeah, something could trigger the gapping up thing, this gap up phase here. So this is the gap up phase. So yeah, I'm hoping to see either Roaring Kitty tweets or some sort of a catalyst here, or it could be BBBY or something. It could be like, let's say, oh yeah, BBBY, like chapter 11 exit or something. I don't know, like something, like just like a something. This is a gap up phase, so something to trigger this, and we'll find out tomorrow. So it's very similar, to this one, right? So yeah, let's see how this thing plays out. There's gonna be pullback after this. So after this thing hit the $4, there's a gap there I told you, and there's gonna be a pullback, and then this thing shot up again. So that's AMC. Okay. Let's take a look at before I take a look at GME, I want to show you FFAI first, because there are people who commented on my post, and the people said like, oh yeah, like what about July? What if this thing will happen in July? Just crush out all June OPEX and fucking like, yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, but I let me show you why I don't think we're gonna go into July. I think the squeeze is gonna be in June. I could say confidently because I think not only AMC showing that way, but also FFAI. I wasn't tracking this one until recently. Somebody in my community asked me to just take a look at this one. I'm like, okay, sure. I mean, I don't want to fucking like look at things that are not in the basket stock. It's like really waste of my time. I was kind of thinking that way, but as I noticed that FFAI actually blow up in May, I'm like, okay, maybe there's a possibility that FFAI was actually included in the basket stocks, like some sort of basket swap stock or something, because there's no really other explanation that FFAI AI blew up about 3,000-4,000% without any catalyst even before the earnings. So I think FFAI was also some sort of a basket stock. I don't know. Sometimes maybe they're included, sometimes maybe not. I don't know how they control those things. But let's say FFAI is also basket stocks, and then I took a look at other pattern and chart, and I did notice that the recent move up down looks very similar to what they did in December. So I actually pulled this one up. I took a look at the fractals, and then based on what's going on, and I've seen a guy who posts some FFAI data, and then yeah, he says it's gonna blow up, but I told you it's not gonna blow up right now. I mean, I see there's a lot of short interest piling up, and then that's good to know. But yes, there's gonna be one more pullback sometimes, because sometimes the market maker, who play with this algo and fractals, they're just gonna do whatever they're gonna do to, just push as much as they can, before run this thing, right? So, but anyway, so based on this fractals, I brought the fractals from last year December, which looks very similar, and I think it was probably test before running this one, and then it did kind of show me that FFAI is around December 18 phase or even maybe 17 phase. So we could see a pop tomorrow, Monday. So something could come and pop on Monday and have a pullback by Wednesday, right? So I think Monday, Tuesday might be some sort of even GME AMC based on FFAI. We could see a pop, and then maybe by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we could see a pullback, right? And then that's pullback. So there's a gap here at dollar from FFAI. So this thing filled perfectly. So once this thing is filled, this is good to go. So that's FFAI, and then when you look at this, compared to when you look at FFAI, not only just like playing options or whatever, I look at this is more like just to help me understand, whether this basket stock is gonna blow up in June or July, because that's the most important question for all of us, right? Are we gonna make money in June, or are we gonna lose all our options and money in June, right? And I look at this one as FFAI. If we blow up in June, this thing also has to show in June, right? And as I track this one, let me show you a very interesting thing here. So when you look at RSI here, this thing hit the bottom here, right? This thing also hit the bottom here. It looks exactly the same. And then after that, this thing pops up, pull back, right? Pops up, pull back. It looks exactly the same, right? The RSI yellow, when you look at yellow RSI, it looks also same. And after that, this thing start to pushes up. Also happened to this one, pushes up. Create 1, 2, 3 waves. 1, 2, 3 waves. It looks exactly the same. And pull back, pop, right? The second one, pull back. Now we are in the circle zone, right? I draw a circle just to kind of show you where we at. And now we're gonna see pop here, like small pop there happening. That's kind of where we at. I think we're gonna see a pop and pull back, and we're gonna see a pop, pull back. That will be the final pullback to fill this gap at that $1, and then go sideways a little bit, and this thing start to pushes up, and that's FFAI. And FFAI also showing me that this thing will blow up by June 10th. Okay, something's gonna happen. I don't know why. Don't ask me. Something's going to happen. Either it will be triggered by Roaring Kitty, either it's gonna trigger by basket swap stocks. I think somebody mentioned about this one. Which is I actually bring this guy name. Yeah, I think they're both BBBY shareholders, but I did like to point out that maybe because I've seen this one before, and maybe they might be right. So these two guys talks about how there's a bullet swap. Montreal, this guy, I mean, I don't know who this guy is, so but this guy keeps saying like, yeah, BBBY is like kind of like a Bitcoin in the when the Bitcoin was born kind of thing, like he was. I don't know who this guy is, but he said he knows something. I don't know, But yeah, June, he said June as well. So BBBY over $1 billion settlements and fraud. So he pointed out to June as well. And then this guy said June 6th we could see a fireworks. So I don't know why he said June 6th, but something between June 1st to 6th we're gonna see some fireworks. And then he said, Biggie Howie said, he said June 5th is a bullet swap. So I think something's going to happen here, somewhere between June 6th, early June, okay, early June, or June 5 or June 5th or 6th or something like that. I don't know. So which means that area is when GameStop earning is, and after that, if June 5th is the bullet swap expiration day, it makes sense because this thing start to blow up, and then heading to a week after that. So June 5th, so June 4th is the GameStop earning, June 5th is the bullet swap, right? And then Friday option expiration day, and then this thing maybe we have to look at how much option chains kind of stack up here, and then this week is when the gamma squeeze happened, I think. So this thing start to blow up. And I don't know. It seems like, okay, so let me show you something here as well. I'm gonna show you some calculations. So I already show you. I'm just telling you, like, I'm using a FFAI, not only just looking at, not only just like, oh, this thing could happen in June, but I think sometimes when you look at GME only, it's hard to know if GME is gonna blow up, right? But when you look at AMC, when you look at other basket stock, I think it could be a good comparison, whether this thing is going to blow up in June or July, right? So that's the purpose of it, right? So I took a look at this one, right? So the reason I point this starting from here is because that's the RSI was the lowest here, right? And this thing started to climb up, right? Same thing as this one. RSI was lowest, making a similar fractals, pushes up, pushes down, pushes up, push down, and start a rally. So from here, right? From here to where we at, it gives you 18 days. From here to where we at, 30 days. So if you bring the calculator, 30 divided by 18 gives you 1.6, which means is that if the market makers are using the same fractals of FFAI from last year December, and then using same thing and apply to where we at, and just run the same cycle, and it's just that the time delays approximately 1.6. So if you add, so after that, now we know where we at. So you just roughly estimate. Okay, so from there to when the peak of the squeeze happened here in December, that's here, and that's about 13 days. So if you multiply by 13 days to 1.6, that will give you 21.6. So if you add 21 days from where we at to here, that will give you June 6th, right? So somewhere there, this thing's gonna squeeze gonna end. Normally squeeze doesn't happen on Friday, so I do believe that this thing might be happening, including the gamma squeeze. It might happen the week of June 10th, I think. So the OPEX week is June 20th, right? I think this could blow up by June 10th, usually Monday, Tuesday, right? And I think they're gonna crush it by OPEX week, right? So this is June 10th, let's say June 10th, June 13th, boom, June 17th. So they're gonna crush the June OPEX like that, and then maybe have one more dead cat bounce, and then just crush it by July OPEX. So that's how I see it, right? So that's FFAI. Same thing as AMC, right? Same thing with AMC. as I see how AMC start to move and start to blow up, same scenario, AMC could also blow up around the same time, June 9th, June 10th. And then by June OPEX, boom, crush it. Dead cat bounce. By July OPEX, AMC will be crushed by up to $7. So now you took a look at what happened with FFAI and also AMC, right? This is just prediction, right? NFA, right? So now let's come to the final one, GME, okay? So there's a two scenario I want you to look at, and then anything I said is, it could be completely wrong or it could be right. So let's have a look. I have a two scenario, but I think either way is gonna go up by next week. I don't know why. It's either Rowan Kitty tweet or Rowan Kitty, share some, I don't know, some sort of a, I don't know, YOLO post. Something will trigger. It could be from BBBY, I don't know. So I want you to take a look at this one. So this is AMC, right? I did mention about this one. And then the next fractal I wanted to look at is this one. So before the first scenario, let me show you this one. This is a comparison between last year April and May, and then let's have a look. So we know this May blew up, all this shit happened June, July, and then crush it, Japanese carry trade, whatever. So let's start from this where the Japan carry trade happened here. So this is April 17. On the right side, this is 2024 last year, okay? Until this thing just blew up, So from the last year carry trade to October, I just create this one as an accumulation phase. The RSI looking exactly same thing, okay? So which means that they might be doing this one here, right? 1, 2, 3, right? It looks exactly the same thing. So this one is this one, right? Let's say after that, what happened? This thing just shot up, right? Just start to move up. So this thing is now completed this one, but this one just takes so long, right? It's just way longer than last year. And after that, what happened? There was a pullback, right? So there's a pullback. Let me just change the color so you guys can see which one is pullback. All right. So accumulation phase, go up and down 3 times like that. Go up, pull back, right? So you follow me, right? So here's another one I found, right? So there's I'm start to breaking down with into a different boxes. So this is yellow box, green box is up, the red box is the downward, right? So now we are heading into the blue box, okay? So the blue box is this one. It looks really tiny, but let me show you here. So I'm gonna change the color to blue box. So this blue box is it did a very significant, very a distinctive shape, 1, 2, 3 like that, right? But the fact that they're kind of the algo is very slow, right? It's just they're maybe doing a huge accumulation from this, here or something, and you see the institution growth a lot, right? They stack up GME and stuff like that. But anyway, so as you can see, after this rally happened, after this accumulation phase rally happened, but what's interesting I want you to look at this green box, right? So as soon as this thing start to move up, you see this thing move up one, right, like that, and there's a pullback. Same thing, very similar thing happened. There's a pullback here, right? Start to moving up, there's a pullback, move up, pullback, right? Move up, pullback, and then the RSI. You see how it looks very similar. So go up, down, right? Go up, down, go up again, and hit this bottom here. Go up, hit this bottom. It looks exactly the same thing, right? And after that, you see this red box? They go up, down, go up, down. It looks same fractal. So that's why I just kind of color this one as a red box, right? It looks fucking same, right? Same algo. So that's done, right? So now we are heading to blue box. What happened to blue box? This thing just shut up, pull back down. Shut up, pull back down. That's earning, private share offering, boom. So they know, I mean, they're using this fractals to create a same shape, same fractals. I mean, I don't know if I should say same fractals, but they're just making a shape here, right? But they like, so they're like GameStop, Ryan Cohen, they don't just dilute, here. I mean, they don't dilute just here or here. They dilute a place where, like, when they do a same thing, right? So they pushes up, pushes down. That's when the fractally, it has to come down, right? That's why they did that, right? So they did a huge private offering in a spot where technically or fractally it has to come down sharply, right? So they create a same pattern, and after that, this thing 1, 2, 3 like that, right? Here's the important thing I think I found. So now as you follow me, we finished this one, right? We finished this one. We finished this part. So the next part that we have left before this giant giant candle just start to shooting up there is this fractals here, right? This some sort of barcoding fractals. But let's take a look at this one. Don't look at the pattern, don't look at the chart, look at the RSI. Okay, so after this thing, the March OPEX, GameStop earning, shut up, private offering, create a pullback, same pattern was created here. Okay, after that, look at RSI. Once after this thing hit bottom, this thing move up, pull back down, right? This thing move up, pull back down. It looks exactly the same thing. So they did this one. So this fractal was this one, right? So I think some area they're taking a little longer, which is this area. I think maybe they're just, I don't know, trying to bring more people pile in or something. I don't know. And after that, what's the next fractal? So which means that this fractal is complete. The final fractals is this one. What's this one? Is this one. Go up, slightly pull back down. What we saw today, right? What we saw, not today. What we saw on Friday, okay, was this one. It's the same fucking pattern. Okay? I don't know if you follow me or not, but I know it is very difficult to like track this one and follow this one, and then, but you have to be somewhat, I don't know, like either like a little bit of autistic, to see this thing kind of stuff, or you just have to like what you see, or I don't know, you have to be sensitive to point out, this one and this one, and then some people don't believe fractals, right? So, and then that's up to them, but I do believe fractals, and I make money from fractals and stuff like that. So I think it is real, but the most important thing is I think fractals is real, but the most challenging part is the time. You see, the last year, this fractals, when you look at this one, when I date range wise, this only took about day and 30 minutes to create this fractal. To create this fractals from this year, it took about fucking 5 days. So how do we know? How the fuck we know that they're creating this in 5 days, right? Like how the fuck we know, right? It's impossible to really recognize like, oh, how long it's gonna take. Nobody knows, right? It's hard to know. It's very difficult. So that's the most challenging part. Like, yeah, like I could see like fractally, yeah, sure, they're making, maybe they might be making this kind of similar stuff, but it's like, fuck, like sometimes like, oh yeah, how do they take this much time to create this one? And if you're not insider, or I mean, it's really hard to know. But anyway, we are there. So now you follow me, right? The whole thing is complete. So next week, this thing is gonna start to blow the fuck up, and I don't know what's the catalyst gonna be. Okay? I don't know. I don't know what the catalyst is gonna be, to be honest with you guys. It's either going to be Roaring Kitty, or it's gonna be a BBBY, or other stuff. I don't know. So let me show you. Okay? So now you see, it's possible that we are following this April-May run cycle. So what we're gonna expect this one is what the fuck is this one? Oh, this is June. Where's my oh, this is May. Yeah, so this is the May cycle. So okay, so you see how I'm gonna turn this one down actually. Okay, so I'm gonna just keep it there. So this yellow fractals here is April, May, right? So now you see my breakdown, right? So if this thing start to break, break this thing upside, and then there's gonna be a pullback, right? So I think something could happen here. I don't know what's gonna happen to me, to be honest with you, but something will break this one. And there's going to be a pullback, and then after that this thing shoot up. Okay, this says it will reach out to these points by July, but I think this fractals will be much more faster. Like I'm not saying, okay, so some area is a lot slower, right? You see from here to here, it actually it was about this, yeah, this one, yeah, sure. But from here was so slow that this part got stretched out this much. However, that doesn't mean that this rally phase will be shorter. So I do think that it will be finished by June OPEX, okay, or even before June OPEX, and this will crush down to. So I think this might go up to possibly minimum $85 or $95, or maximum the January 2021 high, okay? Because in order to break this high number, it has to retest, and I think it's possible that we could retest this thing, and I don't know how yeah, and then this thing will fall back, right, and then hit this May and June high again, right, to test that low, right, and then come back up again, and then heading into the final short squeeze phase by either end of the year or maybe early next year. Okay, so that's kind of how I see. Okay, so that's July, June, that's the April, May cycle, right? So now I want you to look at the second scenario, which is with AMC fractals, and then it's very interesting how this thing also looks very similar, and I'm gonna show you right now. So look at this one. So this is a AMC 2021, right? Pullback, and then they create this one after that, right? So look at this. As you can see, this area, you see, you know what? Let's let's just do with the RSI, just MACD here. So you know how after April, May, after June, July, there's a pullback, and September, dragged out. Same thing happened here in AMC. After AMC buy button removal happened, everything's come back down, right? Crash. But there was a bit of a sideway happening here, which looks very similar to this one, right? Let's take a look at MACD. Sorry, RSI. Yeah, just go sideways a little bit, right? And then after that, this thing start to move up, right? It looks very similar. Start to moving up. There's a pullback, right? There's a pullback, right? It looks quite similar, isn't it? So I actually brought the fractals here. So this is actually April, May. So where's my, let me just bring the fuck, where the fuck is this one? Okay, this fractals. So this fractals is AMC fractals. Look at this. Look how similar it is. Isn't it crazy? So pushes up, pull back down. It's the same. You know, it's crazy how they fucking, like, it's crazy how now you realize, it's crazy how the fractal stuff, you see, hit the bottom, hit the top, pull back, right? Hit the top, pull back, pushes up here, right? It looks so similar, right? And pull back down, pushes up one more, pull back down, right? It's crazy how it looks very similar, right? And then after that, they come up and pushes up, which means that if this area, this fractal area, sped up quite fast, right? So they sped up, pull back, right? So this fractal was very fast, right? Compared to this area. This area looks same, right? The speed wise looks same, but this fractals very fast. After that, they go up. So this yellow box was complete. Look at how MACD was so fast, right? Move up fast, come down fast. So which means that they passed that phase, they passed this phase a lot faster than this one, right? And after that, after this phase is this one, right? So slowly move up, and there's and then tiny pullback, right? There's a move up, pullback, and what happened after that? This is a 500% rally, okay? AMC 500% rally in June, okay? Boom, right? So I think it's we're like either you compare with last year April, May, whether you compare with this AMC, you know, the May June cycle, it looks exactly same thing, and we are about to run. Okay, I don't know what's the catalyst going to be, but either way, this thing is going to run. I know some people say, oh, this thing will crush back down to like fucking, you know, $18, $17. I don't think so. Not here. Okay, and the other scenario, the other thing I want to show you why is that you look at this one. Look at how. Okay, so this is gonna be my last thing that I will show you before I end my stream here. Let me show you why I think this thing is gonna blow up next week. Okay, fuck. Okay, so you see how this is. Okay, how do I explain this one? You see how there's a triangle shape here forming? I drew a triangle shape here. You see how, let me pull out the pen. You see how this forms triangle shape here, like that? After this thing crush, it's the same fractals as this one, right? It's just a sped up here. Go up, pull back. This is the same fucking shape. You see? It's a forming a shape where also you look at this one. You look at the top, line up. It line up here, right? You see what I mean? The shape looks a little bit, I mean, not shape, but like the way the forms look slightly different, but the mechanic is same thing. All right, pull back, pushes up, there's a pullback, pushes up, and there's a pullback here. That's what we have. That's what we experienced last Friday. And this one, this is where I do believe that GME is kind of sitting at, very similar fractals. Look at MACD. MACD is already crossed above the middle line. This thing's gonna blow up next week, and then that catalyst gonna be I don't know. It could be fucking Roaring Key or BBBY or something. I don't know. So that's it. So I think things gonna blow up in June, and I personally don't think this is gonna go on, move until July, because the fact that FFAI is also going to blow up in June, right? AMC as well, right? So AMC clearly showed the indication. Like let's say if AMC didn't really move this thing by Friday, like this Friday, I was like, yeah, maybe I could maybe think that way, oh yeah, maybe this thing could drag until fucking July. But AMC start to moving up and then showing the signs that this thing's gonna it's like setting up for fucking a Jan 2021 squeeze cycles phase. And I'm like, okay, so that will actually indicate that this is going to blow up in June. And you know what's funny? This is not going to be end. There's going to be another cycle squeeze here, like AMC June type of squeeze going to happen here also, coming up by end of this year, or maybe possibly early next year. And there's going to be, I think, one more, and then there's going to be a 3 squeeze. I think it's not going to be a 2. There's going to be a 3 squeeze. The 3rd squeeze, I think, going to happen in next year, August or September, something like that. Somebody mentioned July. Maybe it's possible. I don't know. Like I said, the time, like the tracking time is the most difficult thing. But either July, from next year July to like fucking September or something, or even like October, that's the final short squeeze phase, I think. So AMC, we're gonna experience January 2021 cycle squeeze, pull back, do this whatever like sideways shit, and then go for another 2021 May June squeeze cycle, pull back, and creating a huge fucking triangle formation here, from to the top to this. Once you see that, this thing will point out towards fucking final short squeeze phase, and that's when everything's gonna blow up, I think. And I do expect that's when GME merger with like BBVY or whatever other, possibly like other basket stocks, maybe Toys R Us or something like that. Like, did you guys watch Toys R Us? Toys R Us went up fucking 60%, I think. Okay, and that's when you're gonna experience Bitcoin, and then SPY will start to tank. Everything is set up perfectly. Like that's why Carl Icahn, he's continued to he didn't disclose what he owned, right? I think he filed his 13F, but he still didn't disclose anything, right? He still he paid, I think, about $90 million fine to SEC because the fact that he doesn't want to disclose what he's owning, but which means that it's a much more valuable than $90 million fine, right? So that means something is much more bigger. Something bigger is maybe happening, is going to happen with IEP as well, right? And whatever he's holding. And then a lot of people in the community thinks it's BBVY, right? Because of the fact that he used the 6th Street before, when he helped the Donald Trump Chapter 11 resort before. And then right now BBVY is also working with 6th Street, and I think 6th Street is now controlling Bed Bath Beyond. So maybe Carl Icahn is behind the 6th Street or something like that. So that's what the community see. So this is SPY. SPY is going to crash big time, right? This is 2027 or 8 cycle. It's the same thing, right? From the top, pull down, go up, pull more one down, move up, go up higher, crush it, right? So June, boom, short squeeze happen, cycle kicks in, everything crush, go up, dead cat bounce, boom, July, August. And like I said, this phase can be stretched out. So this can maybe happen in maybe later, like how they change the time here. But yeah, I think the summer there's gonna be a huge fucking crash. right? From June to September. Okay, big crash. Maybe this can drag out to end of the year or early next year. That will be the maybe second squeeze happen. You know, that's SPY. So even Bitcoin is hanging, just hanging around here. Bitcoin is gonna crash too. Okay, a lot of people don't like me saying that, but I've been mentioning Bitcoin is going to crash. Why? Because the bearish divergence is showing up there, right? A lot of people don't like to see that, or people don't like to hear this kind of stuff because it's emotional, right? You have to sometimes look at this as a rationally. And I've been talking about this very much like since last year, December or something. I said like, oh, Nvidia is gonna crash, Bitcoin is gonna crash. Yeah, it crashed 30%. It moved up, and people be like, yeah, Bitcoin is up 100K now. When it's gonna crash? Yeah, it's coming. Look at this. RSI is all-time high here. RSI all-time high here. Pull back, pushes up to the second time. That's when price was all-time high. However, it was indicating that it started losing the strength. When the real market crashes happen is the third wave. And look at RSI. That's when the third wave is formed. When this thing starts to flip, everything just fucking melt down. And you see, it's the same thing. This is a fake out. So SPY, Bitcoin is going to crash like big time. And there's not many people call this one out, like maybe Finance Lot, and there's a couple people. I'm seeing their TA, and then I do agree with their TA. It looks very similar to what I see. But yeah, it makes sense. SPY crash, Bitcoin crash. That's where the hedge fund market makers probably pull their liquidity out from it, and then cover short positions in Bed Bath Beyond. Maybe when the new equity returns, GameStop, AMC, FFAI, other whole basket stock blow up. Who knows? Maybe there's another basket stock that maybe we didn't expect, right? Maybe cause. Look at Toys R Us, by the way. I did mention Toys R Us. Toys R Us went up like fucking 60%. And I think you should watch. I can't say this one, but just pay attention to this Toys R Us, because you look at RSI. If this RSI start to moving, okay, this is weekly. If weekly moved this much, something is happening here. Somebody is accumulating. So once I got out from the call options I'm gonna play for June, and then maybe I'm gonna buy some Toys R Us, because I think Toys R Us is going to. I know I've been following Toys R Us, the stuff, and I think this thing's gonna emerge too. By 2027 August it says, but this, like I said, the Fractal can speed up, right? But either way, Toys R Us will have a giant maybe short squeeze, or they might get bought out or something, But RSI seems to show a very strong sign that this thing, somebody's fucking accumulating a big time. So yeah, I'll probably I can talk about that later on. But yeah, this Fractals, by the way, from some M&A stock, and I thought maybe it looks very similar to this one, and then I've been kind of tracking how much it'll go down, and then I've been really adjusting the fractals here and there. But now I think I'm seeing a signs that from RSI, somebody start to accumulating here. So just pay attention to this one. I think it's good to see what's going on. I think Toys R Us is also, I think there's a lot of hints from Teddy Books that maybe this is one of the company that Ryan Quinn might acquire, right? So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today's update. And then yeah, I'm gonna edit the videos and upload on my YouTube channel as well. So if you guys want to check it out there, feel free to do that. All right, so yeah, that's thanks for watching, and then have a good night, and then I'll see you for next updates. Hopefully next week we're gonna find out what's going to happen. Something's gonna happen tomorrow. Something's gonna happen next week that is gonna blow the stock up. Okay, so we'll find out whether either it's gonna be a roaring kitty or something could trigger the basket stocks. All right, have a good night everyone, and have a good rest of the day. Thank you. Bye bye.